Thank you, and welcome to me talking about building the world of Cat Cafe Manager. We are diving into the visual aspect of building the world. So I'm giving you a little sneak peek into our concept art process, a little insight on what inspired us, and the direction we want to go in. And I'm even showing some results we have for now. There is a big disclaimer here, however, because we're still developing the game. Everything is still work in progress here, so that's good to keep in mind. Is it going to the next slide? Well, here we go. So first, a little introduction about me. My name is Carmen. I have studied animation, and I rolled into games about 11 years ago at Abbey Games as an intern. I did art and animation, and after Abbey Games, together with ex-colleagues from Abbey Games, we started Bruce Games. And we have been a cooperative since 2023, which is really cool. And we released Cat Cafe Manager back in 2022, together with Bruce Games, and I did art direction for that. And we are working on Cat Cafe Manager 2 currently. We did a Kickstarter back in October, September, and that was successful. And here we are now. And I've also worked on these amazing projects, so be sure to check them out. So first we are going to dive into what Cat Cafe Manager was, or sort of an introduction if you're not familiar with the game. So Cat Cafe Manager was a game, or is a game, it's still existing. It's a game in which you can build and manage your own cat cafe. You could adopt and take care of stray cats, attract customers, and customize your space to your own taste with cool furniture. And one important feature of the game was that you could befriend regulars, so you could connect with NPCs and get to know their personal stories. It also had heartwarming themes like friendship and community, and it was a relaxing game, so there was no punishment when you screw up. So it really was a cozy management game. Here are also some numbers. So it released back in April 2022 on PC and Nintendo Switch, and over 200,000 copies have been sold as of now. And because we are diving into the visual aspect of the game, we are going to recap the style of Cat Cafe Manager. So it was a cozy management game, so we tapped into that with a cozy, inviting 2D style. And it was greatly influenced by animated shows like Hilda and Ghibli. So it had bright colors, simple line art, simple lighting and shading, and rounded shapes. And one thing I wanted in particular with the style to sort of achieve this 2D animated, that it could be a 2D animated show. So we also added some handcrafted elements. So as you can see, the crayon lines at the top image, and we also added these cat scratches, we call them. So the three lines next to each other simulate cat scratches, and it ties in with the cat of it all. Furthermore, we used natural tones, calico and earthy we call them, so it was mostly orange, brown and green, so very grounded and very cozy. And it was also set in a small sleepy village with fantastical elements, so peaceful and relaxing setting with traces of magic and witchcraft. However, we also had to do some concessions here during development. So we were only 3 people that developed the game, and that limited the scope. So the cafe, the village, and the assets had to be small and manageable, and that resulted in that the visual world was tightly scoped to what we could realistically create. So that meant simplicity worked in our favor here. So we're making a sequel. Where do we go from here? So we made 2 big choices going into the sequel. We are going from a village to a city setting, and we are going from a 2D world to a 3D world. So why is that? So first I'm going to sort of show you why we are going for a city setting. So the first reason being that we are going for a city is that we think cities are cozy too. So cities tend to get a bad reputation in a lot of cozy games, which is a shame. They are described as these impersonal and great places, while small villages are showcased as these peaceful and friendly places. Cat Cafe Manager was also guilty of this, which is really funny because I grew up in a small village, and despite what many cozy games suggest, I didn't feel connected there at all. It was actually when I moved to the city as a student, I moved to Utrecht, that I actually found warmth, energy, and community. And yeah, we want to capture that side of the city, so it fits the cozy game genre. Furthermore, we think the city is more exciting, so there's more vibrancy, more activity. You can sort of visualize it in city lights, in street food vendors and musicians, so we think that's more visually enticing. And to sort of tie in with the visually enticing part, the city allows for more visual variety. So there is nature mixed with structures, and yeah, we could do something real playful with that. So yeah, and why are we going for 3D? So with 3D, there's more possibilities with dynamic environments, so there's more perspective options, more movement options, and more depth in general. Furthermore, yeah, we could really sort of get exciting effects in there, so exciting lighting effects, exciting shading effects, and that really adds vibrancy to the world. And something really cool we want to create with this 3D style is that we sort of want it to be sort of 2D, 3D hybrid. So we can gain more visual flexibility in creating assets. So yeah, now that we have inventorized the visual features of the first game and the ambitions for the sequel, what do we want to keep from the first game, or what do we want to change, move away from developing the sequel? So here you see both games next to each other. So on the left is Cat Cafe Manager, the original game, and on the right is Cat Cafe Manager 2. So yeah, these games next to each other, what do we want to keep? So first of all, we want to keep the charming 2D look, so sort of the cartoony look of it all, yeah, reflected in the character and the cat. Yeah, so we want to use simple and effective shapes, and even though we are moving into a 3D world, we want to keep or add 2D elements to sort of keep the cartoony charm. And we are moving, or we are keeping the realistic world with the fantastical elements, so traces of witches and enchantment should be apparent. And we are still adding the handcrafted elements, so we want to use crayon-like textures and the cat scratches as well. So what do we want to change here? The first thing we want to change is the color palette, so we want to move away from the earthy colors, and we want to add more variation, so it looks more vibrant. We want to add more visual effects, so more shading and lighting effects, as you can see in the windows at the Cat Cafe Manager 2 image. And yeah, the last thing is that, sort of in contrast to the first game, in which you were sort of tied to the cafe, we want to expand the world, and we want people to explore beyond the cafe. So yeah, these are some really big ambitions. How do we realize these ambitions? One thing we did is we expanded the art team. So for Cat Cafe Manager 1, Rick and I were responsible for the visual aspect of the game. So Rick did the UI, and I did everything else. So yeah, as you can see, we hired 3 really cool people, and we have a more diverse set of skills now. So Rick and I were mostly, yeah, our skill set was mostly 2D, and all these people, yeah, we added 3D and tech arts, and there's more possibilities with 2D as well. But yeah, as you can see, there is some 3D here, but all these people have really strong 2D backgrounds, so that really helps to keep the cartoony charm we want to achieve. So now we have our team. Where do we look for inspiration? Where do we start? We looked at Dutch inspiration to create this world of Cat Cafe Manager 2. Initially, we looked at Japanese and American cities. These are really cool and very iconic, but we ended up drawing our inspiration more locally. So why? Why did we do that? So the first reason being that we looked at Dutch inspiration was that we always wanted to make a game that is set in the Netherlands. I live in Utrecht, and I would like to see that reflected in the game. So it's sort of a love letter to the places we're familiar with. And it's also a unique setting in games. It's rarely seen. There are more and more popping up right now, which is really cool. But there could always be one more. Next up, it was easier for us to really experience the city. So, as I said, we looked at Japanese inspiration and United States cities, but it was really hard to sort of experience those places and really feel those places. But with Dutch inspiration, I could just walk outside, experience it for myself. And it gave me real reference, so I could really look at structure, mood, and small details. And that was really useful. Furthermore, Dutch cities have the perfect sort of cozy balance. So they are vibrant, but also cozy. They have narrow streets, people build their terraces, and the Dutch even have a word for this. It's called gezelligheid. So that's perfect. Sort of as a result of looking at the Dutch inspiration, we gained some really cool, unique details we could add to the game, and that made it really special. So, for example, the oliebollenstall. Oliebollen is a treat we eat during New Year's, and it's a super Dutch, typical Dutch thing. So we made concept art of that. And we made concept art for the iconic Piet Patat, which is a creepy fries mascot that is creeping everyone out outside of snack bars. So these details are really cool to add because people that recognize them really like that, to see that reflected, but also people that don't recognize it it's something really special for them as well. However, we are not going for a one-on-one replica Dutch city, so it's still a fantastical setting. It's inspired by Dutch cities in layout and feel, but it still has the magical touches to it. So we have to keep that in mind here. So how do we make sure we capture the atmosphere of a fantastical Dutch city? So one thing we did was go outside and sketch and draw. And this is me and Esme going through Gouda on our bikes, very Dutch, and walking through Utrecht, and just making quick sketches. And we did this to truly immerse ourselves in the cities we're representing. So even though we live here, so I live in Utrecht, Esme in Gouda, it helped us to see things with fresh eyes. So it allowed us to sketch shapes and silhouettes in a playful and spontaneous way. And that was a really good foundation for making in-game props. So a little fun fact here. Cat Cafe Manager was developed during COVID. So we made it mostly indoors. So being outside and drawing and being among people and getting inspired by that was a real creative upgrade here. So what did we sketch? So we sort of sketched everything that stood out. So bridges, facades, sort of the typical Dutch stuff. But we also sketched the boring stuff, so like bins and street signs. Why did we sketch that? We think that mundane objects actually could play a major role in dressing up your world. So objects like traffic signs, poles and bins, they could have this sort of design that is tied to the location. So it gives away something about the location. For example, the kliko, which is a typically Dutch design, but also the goose traffic sign. Yeah, furthermore, it results in a more authentic world. So yeah, these details give the game its atmosphere, and they make sure that it's a world that feels lived in and more like an authentic place instead of a sort of setting. Yeah, and lastly, all these objects could have great narrative value. So there could be some history behind it. For example, the bin with the stickers. Yeah, the stickers could tell you something about what is on people's minds. But also the little crooked pole. Yeah, I sort of bumped into this in the city center of Utrecht, and I thought it was just a sort of cute thing to add, but apparently this is a cannon that was used in the Napoleon time on the outer city walls of Utrecht, and now it's a traffic pole. So yeah, now that we have inventorized our objects and yeah, sort of know what we want to add to the world, how do we translate them to the style of Cat Cafe Manager 2? So to establish a clear direction, we create prop sheets before our 3D artists begin to model. And these sheets show our intended shapes and color schemes and even some notes that yeah, we want to communicate. And we mostly want to communicate the visual and stylistic goals here. So to stylize props, each region gets its own color palette to keep the world visually cohesive. And one thing we do as well here is, yeah, we use several colors of that color palette within each other. We sort of mix it to create this sort of magical and ethereal effect. So as you can see in the flowers here above in the top image. Yeah, and we also indicate which elements are going to be 2D and which are going to be 3D. So, for example, the bush is mostly a more easy prop to model, so we keep that 3D, but the flowers are mostly sort of harder in shape, so we keep them 2D. So it's easier like that, but it also results in this cool 2D, 3D hybrid style, which we want to achieve here. And furthermore, props use simple and rounded shapes. So they are easier to model, but they also match the game's warm and friendly tone and the sort of cartoony style. So yeah, now that we have established what props should look like in the game, how do we keep consistency within our team? So one thing we do is create dedicated Notion pages. Yeah, so this is a way to keep everything centralized. Yeah, we put pictures on there, sort of referential pictures, sketches, even some narrative we add to the page. And this is a way to communicate stylistic choices and inspirational references to other team members. It's an easy way to keep track of the visual direction, and it also helps with consistency. So now that we have collected everything in one place, what does it look like when you put everything together in concept art? Well, it looks like this. So yeah, we make these illustrations to bring all our inspirations together and see if it works in terms of color, shape, and mood. So yeah, as you can see, the Dutch elements are added. Yeah, so the facades, and it's even apparent in the sort of mundane details in the form of the biking pole, and even the trash and the Clico is there. But we also combine it with some magical touches. So it's apparent in the witch statue you see on the sort of bottom right image, but we also sort of want to capture that in the lighting. So it has this ethereal sort of lighting going on, sort of Van Gogh kind of style. So yeah, now that we have our concept art and sort of have a direction to go in terms of the world, how do we make sure that these stylistic choices are reflected in the props of the game? So one thing we do is, yeah, we create hand-painted textures in Substance Painter. These are some really cool screen caps that Tim took, our 3D artist, and yeah, he added line art, crayon textures, and cat scratches to create this sort of really cool 2D, 3D hybrid, cartoony 3D props. So yeah, now that we have props that suit the style of Cat Cafe Manager 2, how does it come together in the game scene? It looks like this. This is very much work in progress because the character is huge and we don't want that. But yeah, all assets are brought into the game, lighting and shaders are added, and yeah, we try to achieve the mood from the concept art. So yeah, it looks like this. And we are still working on it, so it's going to be even more beautiful. So yeah, now that we have this, what have we learned from this journey? So the biggest takeaways for us is that cities can be cozy, as long as you focus on the warmth and human detail of a city. Yeah, furthermore, don't underestimate the power of mundane details. They can make your world feel lived in and personal instead of a fixed set. Real-life inspiration could bring a sort of nuance to your world that pictures sometimes can't capture. So you can really look at shapes and texture and mood and atmosphere from up close. And adding fantastical elements could add richness and make it look more interesting. And of course, mixing 2D and 3D creates a world full of charm and flexibility. So you have sort of the character of the 2D part of the world, but the 3D part makes sure that there is more opportunities for perspectives and lighting, which creates this really unique style. So yeah, that's it for the talk, but we're not done with developing, of course, so what's next for Cat Cafe Manager 2? Nice transition. We have moved into pre-production, and we're still developing the game, so yeah, you can follow us on the socials, and you can, of course, wishlist Cat Cafe Manager 2, some shameless self-promotion. But yeah, you can see the progress there, and it's really cool. So that's it. Thank you.